All right, hey everybody, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing some balance exercises with a stretchy band. So if you have one of these, you can use one with or without handles. Some people have the tube kind of band. Some people have the flat kind of band that you get like from a physical therapist. If you have one without handles, that's okay too. Some people have one with the thicker padded handles. So whatever you have available will work just fine for this. So a couple of things before we start. These are strength training exercises. They're going to be modifiable. We're going to offer seated and standing versions of these exercises, but be sure to work at your own pace, at your own level. If you need to take a break, if you need to catch your breath, sit down, whatever you need to do, go ahead and do that. Please be sure to have some water available. Stay hydrated, very, very important. To stay hydrated, and then make sure that you have a sturdy chair. Some of our exercises are going to be in the chair, and so you want to make sure it's not going to move, preferably without any armrests, not going to slide, anything like that. If you feel like you need it, make sure you have some sturdy athletic shoes on, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we're going to do a full body exercise, and then we're going to finish with some balance exercises. So as far as the differences in the bands, I get asked a lot, which color is which difficulty level. And it's going to vary from brand to brand. This particular brand, which is Spry, S-P-R-I, the green one is an easier one, the red is a medium, and the blue is a hard one. But that can actually vary by brand. So if you have a different brand or you have one of the flat bands, it can vary. So you're just going to have to try different things and see what works for you, okay? So if you can have a variety of them, great. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started here. All right, so we're going to move forward in the chair. Again, make sure that you have a sturdy chair that's not going to move on you, and we're going to start with some chest presses. So you're going to bring the band around behind your back, and we're going to start with just the seated option on this one. So it's around the middle of your back. And then go ahead and grab the handles. Make sure it's under your arms, all right? Try to find a spot that it's not going to rub on your skin, not going to cause any problems with that. And then go ahead and just shorten up your band. So I have the handles, I have an extra loop of band. We're just going to start with the seated press forward. Now remember, you can always shorten or lengthen your band to make it harder or easier. So we're going to go ahead and do a press forward and a release. Now we want to remember to keep breathing when we're doing our strength training. So we're going to exhale on the press, inhale on the release. Good. Just a couple more like that. All right, so you can either continue with the seated option just like that. If you would like to have the standing option, we're going to add a little lower body option to it. Let me scoot back just a little bit here. If you're doing the standing option, go ahead and step out about hip to shoulder width with the feet, and then we're going to add a half squat as we do our press. Now, check out your form with your knees, because a lot of times what will happen is the knees will drop in like that. We don't want to do that, all right? So if you can check, maybe just a quick look in a mirror or have somebody watch you to make sure that those knees stay pointed straight ahead as you do your squats. And of course, you're sitting back in the heels, engaging the glutes as you are at the bottom of your squat and as you come back up. And then also make sure that you're not shifting over to one side or the other. That's also very common if you have an injury or a past injury and you tend to favor one side. Good. All right, let's do one more. All right, nice job. Go ahead and bring your band around to the front. I'm going to give you a seated or standing option on the next one. If you're standing, go ahead and go with a narrow stance here because we're going to add a balance challenge to it. We're going to do our diagonal pull. So you have your handles, you have your extra loop of band, and we're pulling on the diagonal. Again, you can lengthen or you can shorten your band. You want to come all the way out. You want to completely straighten the arms without shrugging the shoulders. Now, adding in that balance challenge by bringing either the foot up, or if you want to keep the toes down, that's fine too. Good. Keep breathing through it. One more on this side. Good work. Okay, take a little break there. Make sure you're catching your breath. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, so again, if that was a little bit too easy, bring the hands closer together. If it was a little bit too hard, you can bring them a little bit further apart. And then if you're standing again, we're going to start with a narrow foot position. Extend all the way out. See if you can straighten the arms all the way out. And remember not to shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. And then if you're standing, go ahead and add the heel lift or the foot lift for that extra balance challenge. Woo. Losing it a little bit there. That's the foot that has a chronic injury to it, so it's never going to be quite as strong. And most people have one side stronger than the other. Last one. All right, so we got a little tricep and shoulder work on that last one. Let's go ahead and step out a little bit wider if you're doing the standing variation. Again, you can do this seated or standing, your choice. But if you're standing, we're going to do some sumo squats, some wide foot position squats on this one. This time we're coming up overhead and pulling it down to the chest. And I know that I'm not far back enough, so let me get a little further back. All right, so you're up overhead, wide foot position if you're standing, and then you're bringing the band down to your chest. So a little bit more shoulder emphasis on this one. Please don't go behind the neck with it. It's just too much stress on the rotator cuff. Too much risk. Good. And same rules apply if you're doing the squat. Check those knees are not dropping in and check that you're not shifting over to one side. And just one more. All right, great job. Go ahead and go back to a narrow stance if you're standing. And we'll do put the coat on, take the coat off. Now we don't have to wear our coat too much this time of year. Still pretty hot, but this is for shoulder mobility, okay? Please make sure you're not accidentally wrapping it around your neck. If you need to keep it in front of the body, that's fine too, okay? Good. Change direction. Keep breathing through it. Make sure you never hold the breath. And just one more of those. All right, very good work. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a lower body one. Again, you have a seated or standing option. We're going to do that outer hip, outer thigh exercise. I'm going to take a quick sip of water here. Remember to take your hydration breaks whenever you need it. And when you're ready, go ahead and put both feet on the band. Again, seated or standing option. All right, after you have that secured under your feet, you're going to cross your handles over and make an X. Now, please make sure that it is secured underneath your arches, that the band's not going to come off, snap you in the nose, or come off the back of your feet. Both of those are not a lot of fun. All right, so if you're standing, you're going to bend the knees slightly and do an alternating side step. If you're seated, you're going to do the knee lift and tap out, tap in, and I'll show you that in just a moment here. We're just going to do a few more for the standing variation. All right, and then if you're doing the seated variation, you're doing the knee lift out and in. Hang on to those handles. You want to go as wide as you can. Think about the outer thigh, outer glute, out here. This is called abduction, abducting away from the midline of the body. So that's outer thigh, outer glute. One more. All right, good job. So again, standing people, you're doing the alternating side steps. Seated people, you're doing the knee lift and tap out. Let's take a little break before we do another set of those. All right, go ahead and uncross here for a moment. We're going to keep the band underneath the feet, and we're going to do our upper back. So grab, shorten it up. You're leaning halfway forward. Make sure it is secured under your feet, underneath your arches. You're going to keep your toes down, keep your heels down, keep your chest lifted up, and pull the elbows up and back and shoulder blades together. So right now we're focusing on that upper back, those lats, those rhomboids. We want to avoid shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears. We do want to breathe though, so exhale on the pull, inhale on the release, or whatever makes sense to you. As long as you're breathing, that's the most important thing. Just keep breathing through it. Sometimes we'll concentrate so much that we forget to breathe, and we don't want to do that. Good. Again, think about those upper back muscles being your primary movers. Arms are just following along for the ride. You get a little biceps in here, but they're not your primary mover. Good. Just 2 more of those. Great big pull. Shoulder blades pulling together. Excellent. All right. So from here, we're going to lengthen the band just a little bit. Bring the hands to the sides of the legs, and then just lean back and forward. So lower back and a little bit of abs here. If that's really easy, you can go ahead and go back to the shortened hand position if you want a little bit more challenge. But just make sure that the band stays secured under your feet and you're just slightly retracting those shoulder blades. That keeps you in the good posture so that your shoulders are not rolling forward. We don't want to ever encourage that poor posture that most of us tend to have. We want to encourage good posture, keeping the shoulders back and down, and just the natural curvature of the back. Good, just 2 more of those. Excellent. All right, so let's go ahead and do another set of the abductors, ABD, abductors, the outer thigh, outer glute. So again, we've got that seated version. I'll show that one first this time, and then I'll go back to showing you the standing version. So if you're going to stay seated, it's a knee lift and tap out and in as wide as you can go without scooting around in your chair. If you're going to do the standing version, remember slight knee bend, and then it's a lateral step. Again, taking as big of a step as you can. Good. Nice. 3 more. Excellent. All right, from here, seated or standing version on our upright rows, please make sure your band is still secured under your feet. You still have your handles crossed. Now we're going to go low and wide with these. So it's not an upper back row. We're focusing on the outer part of the deltoid here. We want to keep it safe though. We don't want any kind of rotator cuff impingement. So we're going to go out wide, and we're not going to go real high. But instead of thinking about the upper back, this time you're thinking about those shoulders doing the work. Keep breathing. Exhale on the pull, inhale on the release. Nice. Just a couple more of those. I know these are a challenge. Good job. All right. Nice. Go ahead and come back to your chair. Uncross. We're going to keep the band under the feet though. And we're going to do some bicep curls with some abs. So for this one, you're going to be in the front half of your chair. Just make sure that your chair is not going to tilt forward on you. So that part, of course, is very important. Make sure the band is still secured underneath your feet. Make sure your ends are even. You're going to sit up as tall as you can, pull the belly in, and then lean back just enough that your abs are being challenged. So we're going to continue in that lean back position. Remember to breathe, and then we're adding bicep curls to it. Now, if this is easy, you can bring the feet out wider. If it's too hard, bring the feet closer together. Make sure it's a good challenge for you. If you have any problem at all, you can always take the abdominal part of it out, and then we're going to do some more abs in a little bit. So now make sure that you're keeping the spine lengthened. You don't want to start to slouch. You do want to tuck the elbows in by your body. So we're just working on those biceps right now. 3, 2, and 1. All right, good job. Let's go ahead and take it out from under the feet now, and we're going to do our rotator cuff exercises. So the rotator cuff, you have 4 little muscles down in the shoulder area. They're stabilizer muscles, but we want to make sure that we strengthen those too, keep them strong and injury free. So you're going to have your handles, you're going to have your extra loop of band, and again, you're tucking the elbows in by your sides. Go ahead and give yourself a little extra slack on this one because we don't want to lift the upper arms away from the body. So what I see people doing a lot is lifting the arms up. Keep them locked in. Keep those upper arms locked in. If you can't go out very wide, that's okay. But give yourself enough slack that you can get a little bit of range of motion there. Keep breathing through it. Just 3, 2, and 1. All right, go ahead and grab a sip of water. Let's stay hydrated, and then we're going to do a little bit more abs here. Okay, so scooting forward in the chair again. If you've moved back, go ahead and stay in that forward part, and then we're going to do another round of that pull down, but this time we're going to add some abs, and so there's going to be a lean back and a rotation to it. So let me show you what you're going to be doing here. You have your handles, you have your extra loop. We're going to start with that overhead pull down. As you pull it down to the chest, you're going to lean back and then rotate to one side, come back to center, release your band, and sit back up. Now we're going to do the other side. Lean back, pull the band down, rotate, come back to center, and come back up. All right, as much slack as you need. Narrower if it's too easy, wider if it's too hard. Lean back, pull the band down, rotate, think about your waistline, come back to center, come back up. Lean back, pull, rotate, back to center, and come back up. Again, lean back, pull, rotate, come back to center, come back up, lean back, pull, last one, rotate, come back to center, and come back up. All right, we are going to go ahead and put the band down. We're done with that. Water break if you need it. We're going to do a little bit more abs, lower body, and balance, but we won't need the band for the rest of it. Okay, so this time we're going to do another set of the rotations, the abs with the rotation, but we're going to add the leg lift to it this time. So no band needed for this one. We do want to keep the spine lengthened, the abdominals pulled in. You're going to lean back, go ahead and bring the hands forward. We're going to add that leg lift, come back up, lean back, leg lift. Now, extra challenge here, if you want to, is to straighten the leg and bring the arms up higher so that you increase the lever. So option, or go ahead and keep the knee bent if you prefer, and the hands just forward. Either one is just fine. Back up, one more like that. All right, catch your breath here for a moment. We're going to do one more set of those. We're going to take out the pause at the center. So we're just going to be going side to side. So again, you can either do it with the leg extended, arms extended overhead, or the knee lift with the arms extended forward. Nice tall spine, abs in. All right, here we go. We're just going side to side. You're just going to continue to lean back this time. Again, you have the option to extend the leg. Straighten it out if you want more challenge. Arms up overhead if you want more challenge. Keep breathing, even though those abs are engaged. Keep breathing. Good, just one more each side. We're almost there. Excellent. All right, we're going to do one last ab exercise before we finish. Just one more isometric exercise just to finish off. Make sure we're getting a good challenge here. Lean back. You can feel your abdominals working there. We're just going to hold our position without using the back of the chair. Option to make it a little bit more challenging here or even more challenging here, and option to lift the heels and just have the tiptoes down. Look up, make sure you're breathing, and relax. All right, great job. Let's go ahead and come up to standing. If you need a moment to catch your breath, do that. We're going to do a little bit more with the legs and the balance here. So go ahead and come up next to your chair. We're going to start with our leg circle. So pick one side of your chair and you're going to be shifting over to the inner leg. So you're standing on that inner leg. Optional balance challenge here as we draw that big circle around. Draw the circle with your foot. If you need the chair for balance, go ahead and use it. Now change direction. Keep breathing through it. Standing up nice and tall. Good, one more of these. Now we're going to do our glute and hamstring lift to the rear. So make sure you're as stable as you can on your standing leg. Squeeze and lift and release. Again, balance challenge option. Squeeze and lift. So you're engaging those large glute muscles. Those are your power muscles. Make sure you're squeezing those as you lift. We don't want to just squeeze or swing the leg up and down. We want to actively squeeze the muscles. All right, go ahead and take a little break there. Shake that leg out. We're going to come over to the other side and do the same thing. All right, make sure your equipment's out of your way. There we go. All right, so starting with the circles again, shift your weight over to, let me get rid of this ad on the music here. There we go. Okay. All right, so starting with those leg circles, you're drawing that big circle. One more. And change direction. Again, option to do the balance challenge. Big circle. One more. And then we're going to switch to that glute and hamstring lift. So again, make sure you're standing tall through that standing leg. This time we're lifting the leg back behind, emphasizing, engaging, and squeezing those muscles. Engage and squeeze. Good. Think about the mind-muscle connection. Engaging those muscles that you're working on. Last one. Okay, good job. Let's go ahead and shake that leg out and come around behind the chair here. We're going to do one more wide foot position exercise, one more set of sumo squats, but this one's going to be a bit more challenging on the lower body portion. We're all done with the upper body portion, so go ahead and step out wide here, toes out just slightly. If you like, just palms up. That kind of helps to keep the chest lifted up. And I'm going to move the chair out of the way, but you can have it there for support. I'm just going to move it so you can see a little bit better. We're going to do 3, 2, 1, and lift. Good. 3, 2, 1, and lift. Make sure to keep the chest up nice and tall, chin up. Again, weight is centered between the legs. Check your form to make sure you're not shifting to one side or the other. Good, just one more of those. Excellent. All right, give those legs a shake. We're going to come back to narrow stance. Again, feel free to have the chair there in front of you for support. We're going to be doing our heel raise, toe raise next. So we're going to bring the feet side by side here. Heels and toes. Heels and toes. Get as much range of motion as you can, and check your form here to make sure that your ankles are not rolling in towards each other. That's called pronation, and the majority of people actually do that. If you have either flat feet or very high arches, either one of those can cause you to want to roll in. We don't want to encourage that either. It becomes a chronic misalignment in our bodies, and it contributes to all kinds of other problems. starting with foot pain and going from there. All right, just one more of those. Excellent. Okay, go ahead and shake those feet out. I'm going to grab my chair again. Actually, first I'm going to grab a sip of water, and then we're going to do just a little bit more balance. We're going to be doing our drinking bird, which is one of the best balance exercises because we're going to be moving through different planes of movement. So have a chair or a wall there in case you do need to hang on. And then shift again to that inside leg. See if you can bring that other foot all the way up. We're going to start here. Now we're going to reach down with the outside hand as we extend that leg back behind. Good. Reach down as far as you can. Come back up. All the way up. All right. This time we're going to rotate away from the chair a little bit. Do the same thing. Reaching down, extending that leg back behind, and come all the way up. Hold on right there. We'll get to the next part in just a second here. There we go. All right, so next part. This time we're rotating in towards the chair. A little extra challenge there. Reach the outer hand down towards the seat of the chair. And come all the way up. How you doing? Make sure you're breathing. We're going to do one more to center. So coming down right in front of the standing leg. And come back up. All right, good job. So that may have been pretty intense. It is a challenging balance exercise. Go ahead and shake that leg out. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Again, make sure that you have a chair or the wall available to you in case you feel like you need it. Of course, you can step down anytime you need to if you feel like you're starting to lose your balance. And then we're going to begin with that foot up. See if you can let go of your chair. We're going to start with that center reach. Reaching down towards the floor, towards that standing leg, the toes of that standing leg. Come all the way up. Make sure you come back to vertical in between each one. Good job. Now we're going to rotate slightly away from the chair. Reach down towards the floor. This is going to be additional challenge. Good. Come all the way up. Return back to vertical. This time we're rotating in towards the chair. You can do multiple sets of these, either at the same time or throughout the day. This is a classic exercise in physical therapy for strengthening those stabilizer muscles. All right, last one is to center. And slowly come all the way up. Great job. Go ahead and shake those legs out. All right, let's go ahead and have a seat here. We're going to finish with just a couple of stretches. So get yourself into a comfortable position in your chair. Hydrate if you haven't in a little bit. Okay, so we're going to do just run through a couple of stretches here to finish off with. The first one, I'd like for you to move forward in your chair, and you're going to grab the back of the chair. So right down where the seat meets the back of the chair, anywhere you can grab. Rotate your shoulders back, and now arch your back. Look up. If it hurts to arch your back, you don't have to do that part. Just do what feels comfortable to you. It should be a really nice stretch. So we're opening through the chest and shoulder and stretching the back. Good job. Sorry, no cameos from the pets today. I had to close the door because there's some noisy stuff going on outside. So hopefully in the next one. All right, go ahead and let that go. We're going to bring the hands to the knees, do just a few of the cat-cows. And as you know, I do have full videos of flexibility, stretching, yoga. So please check out some of those where you can have the entire session be nice and relaxing stuff. Feel good stretches. Gentle yoga style poses. Chair-based or standing. So you're just going back and forth, rounding and arching the back. Good job. All right, then come back to center. We're just going to turn to one side. I like to use the outside of the leg for leverage, and then just look over the shoulder, give your back a nice little stretch there. And same thing on the other side. Yourself a nice little stretch there. And come back to center. All right, go ahead and stretch the legs forward. We're just gonna lift those toes up, reach all the way up, and then forward fold, reaching toward the toes. Now, if you possibly can, lift your toes up towards your knees. Now, you'll notice I have my knees bent. That is totally fine. What we're doing here is by lifting the toes up, we're stretching the calf muscles and the Achilles, and then with our lean forward, we're stretching the hamstring. So that's very important there. Lean in until you get that hamstring stretch. And release it out. All right, let's finish off with one more upper body one. We're gonna reach up and hold. Sitting up tall, lean to one side. Lean to the other side. Again, if you want more stretches, go ahead and check out any one of those stretching videos, or just do them on your own if you have a routine that you enjoy, stretching or yoga. Always time for mind-body work. Make it a part of your self-care, whether it's yoga, meditation, a little of both, all very good for you mentally and physically. It's a complement to doing strength training and cardio exercise. All right, relax the shoulders down, and then finally just some range of motion exercises for the neck. You can do full circles if that feels good to you. If not, partials are fine. And come back to center. All right, it is time for our final stretch. So lengthen the spine as you sit up. Inhale, reach all the way up, and exhale, open out. Let's do that one more time. Inhale and exhale. Have an awesome day, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Have a terrific rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.